I wanted to share a coffee with my lovely subscribers who say every Saturday morning I put the kettle on, make a coffee and I watch your films. And at that time I'm running to a football pitch, disorganised, tired, hair sticking up on end. So when I think about you guys sitting at home warm and cosy with fluffy socks and a dressing gown on, I'm really envious. So I just thought I'd have a little cup of coffee with you now. Oh, that's hilarious, isn't it? Keep calm, I'm a teenager. What about keep calm? I'm a stressed out mum. Anyway, so many of you were very, very complimentary about the makeup that I had on when I did my first film with Rosie. I put the same top on just to kind of, you know, get into the vibe. So I thought I'd show you what I did. I did it without thinking, and actually I thought I really need to put those products in a bag so I can remember what I've used, but I've gathered them together. I've done my bases, not to kind of bore you, but I've just done the liquid base and my brows. So what I did was I wanted to have something that was kind of like strong but super easy, because I was kind of quite busy rushing around trying to get everything ready for Rosie's arrival because we only had a couple of hours to shoot. So a quick, easy, sort of strong eye is exactly what I'm going to show you now. I started with Magician, which is Trini Woodall's, Trini London's cream eyeshadow. It's called Eye to Eye, and I literally just placed it across my lid and blended it up into the socket. I didn't do it underneath. I just did it in that lovely kind of like half moon shape like that to sort of open out my eyes. But I don't use any powder or anything around my eyelids, so the cream blends really well. And again, like a lot of the creams, or all of the creams that I use and recommend for you guys to use, is that it dries and it doesn't really crease. So again, against the black top that I was wearing, I quite like the sort of cool minky tone, which this is. I wouldn't want to sort of put too goldy or bronzy with it, because obviously my blonde hair, it just ends up being a bit yellowy. So it's quite nice to have that contrast, whereas if you had dark hair, then you might want to warm it up slightly. So I blended the shadow just like so. Really, really easy. But because I'm wearing lots of liner and mascara, I wanted to make sure that I didn't close my eyes by doing that. I wanted to keep them open, but I didn't want it to look over made up. If I put lots and lots of eyeshadows on with the liner and lash look, then it would just look a bit over made up. It would make me look older. I don't think it'd be as modern. So one of the liquid liners, gel liners that I love, and I use a lot of work, is by a company called Inglot. This is their black gel liner, and it dries out, not quickly, but I use it sort of every day at work, but I just try and snuggle it up and keep the foil on just so that it doesn't dry out. So I'm going to use a, what's it called? It's called Screen Queen 317 winged liner by Zaleva. I'm really rubbish at knowing what brushes I've used. I'm going to try and make sure that the brush is really flat and condensed, because I've got very bumpy eyelids, so I can't take a line, like a gel hard winged eyeliner. It just goes all zigzaggy. But what I wanted to do for this look with Rosie is I just wanted to have definition around my eye. But what you do is that you smudge the gel liner, and getting into this corner is really important too, because you can see how it frames your eye. And if you do it quickly enough, and I'm pushing this very sharp, not sharp as an ouch, but it's nice and tight line right into my lash line, hence why it's called tight lining. Before it dries, so you don't hang around, so don't go make yourself a coffee before you finish off, you just want to smudge that into the cream. And that's why I love the cream eyeshadows, not so much on that inside there, because you want to kind of create that there, but create the strength there, you don't want it soft. But everywhere else, I need it to be soft, because my facial structure is much softer than it was in my 20s, but I still need a little bit of definition in the right places. And that was basically what I did. So a nice tight brush, really push the gel liner into the angled brush, pull your eyelid. Now I need to get my mum in for makeup. She hasn't been very well recently, but she's sort of back on track. It's going to be hysterical. She's like my worst client. One, I can't even touch her face. She goes, "Ooh, what are you doing?" And gets a magnifying mirror like that. She still doesn't trust me after all these years. You normally end up having a scrap. It's hilarious. The reason I'm saying that is that when I have to pull my mum's eye to do her makeup, she just doesn't like it. That's what made me think of that, but I must get her in soon. So here we go, just going in. Look straight into the mirror when you do it, because that means that it's nice and tight. You don't sort of get wrinkly right inside there. So you can just create that sharpness there. And don't take it down. If your eye tends to go, if your eye is really round and the end of your eye tends to go round at the edge, don't follow it down, because we never want to kind of make the lines on our faces that we're emphasizing go down. So you can just finish it short of the last lashes. And then blend that in. And obviously when you've got lashes on, well, full sleeves, lots of mascara, that's just a really nice soft line effect, that if you have eyes like mine that aren't as tight and as taut, or you're a little bit hoodie on the outside, then this is the way to define your eyes in that kind of cute sort of like top heavy way, without it kind of going like a heartbeat. Obviously it's a little bit over the top, but you know what I mean. Right, then I went in with my Marc Jacobs liner, and I absolutely love these liners. They do dry out, so you have to keep the lid on, but most of these gel liners do dry out, to be fair, and if you want to keep it soft and creamy, you have to do that. This one is called Blacker, and it's one of Marc's eyeliners, they're called, and they come in great colours. I think that's the one that Ruby used on her makeup that she did the other day. I'm taking that right, and it's so easy. My eyes don't water, goes on like a dream. And it stays. Obviously your eyes are always cleaning themselves, so if it feels that it's got something in it, you will lose that intensity in your waterline eventually. But this pigment does seem to last a lot longer. Now you can see here with my eyes a very common mistake that many people make when they do their makeup, is that they just think, oh, I'm just going to shove some liner in my eyes, it's going to define my eyes, which of course it does. And then they get distracted and they maybe put a bit of lipstick on, but they forget about their eyelashes. Or maybe they think their eyelashes are dark or long enough, they don't need to, and just putting the liner on gives them a more defined eye. But what it does is it really shrinks your eye. So mascara is the key tool to use to open out your eyes. So yeah, you can see the difference. This is a Diego Della Palma one. I haven't used this one before. It's called High Performance Mascara, but it's got the kind of brush that I like. It's not fussy. It's got big panels going across the brush. It's not the right word. Big panels, big spaces, for want of a better word, allowing me to get lots of mascara, which I am, onto the lashes quickly, efficiently and effectively. Because this is not for like a Glossier mascara, you know, the mascara that's lovely that I use for my no makeup look. This would look weird for a no makeup look, because it would just look too heavy and too spiky. But for this lovely linered look, it works brilliantly. Yep, I'll give this a 10 out of 10. It's a really nice consistency actually with the mascara. Get Diego Della Palma and Marks & Spencer's. Marks & Spencer Beauty is so great. It's just never really that busy whenever I go in, but I think they hold loads of really amazing brands. Good. So I'm pushing that always at the root, and you can see how much better that is. But you have to do one underneath, okay, because you've put that line in. Or if you didn't want to put mascara underneath, you'd have to put like a soft matte shadow underneath your lower lashes to create the balance. Oh yes, look, that really gives really great effective lashes. You can see how that pulls my eye down now compared to the other one, and that's what you're trying to do. So always use your mascara. If you've got one product that you've got time for, then just chuck on a bit of mascara if that's for your eyes. I think either you're a mascara person or a concealer person or a lip balm person. I'm definitely a lip balm person. I hate my lips feeling dry. I like the comfort of a nice soft lip. Brilliant. And so you can see how quick and easy that is and how effective it is. I just need to check actually that I do look the same as I did with Rosie. Let me just check my picture, one sec. 10 out of 10, I've got the eyes right. So yeah, so that's the eyes. Now, I did feel that day, I remember feeling, I put my blush on, so I'm going to go with the cream blush that I put on, which is the Elizabeth Arden one in Honey. And I remember feeling a little bit pale because we sort of filmed it maybe like beginning of October. And I think with the black and my skin feeling paler, I remember just chucking on loads of bronzer. But first, I put my Honey blush on, which I love, from Elizabeth Arden. It comes with this really cute little compact. So I put the Honey on, and then I did a little bit of powder. Now, Huda Beauty and by Terry have got these really lovely face powders, loose face powders, got a bit of pigment in. Now, I love the by Terry one because it's got the hyaluronic in. And as you know, as a dry skin woman, I love my hyaluronic. So I'm using 200, and I just pat it in, and I just love, that sounds weird, love feeling my face, but if I'm driving around, I just touch my face, think, oh, it does feel soft. So always around here, because this is my area that, I've got a few areas that annoy me, but this area always comes through a little bit pink, and that area between my brows, so that's where I'll normally kind of set it. I'm going to put a little bit more around here because I'm going to use a little bit of the bronzer, and I love the It Cosmetic bronzer. You can see how much I love it because, sorry, that's not very perfect, is it? I've got mascara and liner everywhere now. Not the tidiest or cleanest of makeup artists. This is Ombre Radiance, and it's Warm Radiance, and you can see that it's multi-pigmented. So I'm going to use a nice big brush. I'm going to use this one from Make the Make, really nice company. And it's not round, as you can see. I'm going to swirl it into the brush. The reason I swirl it and then swirl it into my hand is because that means that I get a nice even coverage. So when I put it on, I don't get, it doesn't attack my skin and just sit in one place because I've got a lot of product on one area of the brush. So swirling is essential. The reason I've chosen this Make the Make brush, not a round one, is because I like this. I like having a little bit more control just to shape underneath my cheekbones, like so. End of my nose, and just sort of over and under the jaw, and definitely down my neck, 'cause it's always paler. And it just gives a lovely radiance. I don't often put so much powder on my skin. You can see on my hand how metallic it is. Not metallic, it's sheeny. So that's the kind of nice dimension that I'm hoping to add to my skin. But what you see here is very soft, because the light is very soft. It's not a hard light. If I put a big, massive ring light here, my skin would be looking super shiny, but I just want to kind of keep it as real as possible. So that, for me, I remember just thinking, oh yes, I feel a little bit better. And because I knew that I'd be talking up with Rosie and I didn't want to worry about my lipstick moving, I wanted to use a liquid lipstick first to nail the colour. So Cult Candy is a new vegan brand, really great bright colours. So don't think that vegan cosmetics are just kind of neutral tones, not at all. The pigments are much, much more vivid now. Anyway, this one's called Lolly. Just the cute packaging, even at 46. Still loving a little bit of fun packaging, why not? So the doe foot is angled, so it makes it easier for me to apply. And goes on really nicely. And all the liquid lipsticks that I try out, I always make sure that I try them for a whole day, because some of them really can pucker up your lips. That said, I always layer hydration over the top. I like the liquid lip because it gives a nice shape to my lip, quicker than a pencil does. And a pencil always has a little bit of a waxy layer over it, just because of obviously the formula of a pencil, whereas the liquid lipsticks are just a little bit more fluid. So you can get a nice shape on your lip without too much effort. That shut me out, didn't it? Good. Okay, so then that was the lip, and I was happy with that. And then I thought, right, I just need a nice hydrating nude. And These are lovely. The Rimmel London Kate, I think they're called Kate Nudes. Lasting Finish Kate lipsticks, as in Kate Moss, the supermodel. She's done a collection for Rimmel. She's got about 4 or 5 different nudes, and she has done for a long time. Just going to soften that over my bumps. Just going to take a dry cotton bud and just make sure that line is not overloaded with product. And then add this on top. So it's slightly lighter, it's really hydrating. But I think when you're wearing a nude and you're blonde and you're pale, it can sometimes wash you out. So having that warmer base with the Cult Candy underneath helps to give dimension to my lip. But it doesn't wash me out. Just again with the cotton bud. Soften that look. Take off the edge. Right, so that is the look, and I promised you I'd show you how I did it. I did it very quickly. I wanted to have my eyes being strong, so I didn't want to think about too much else, but I just felt that if I had a natural lip, it didn't quite work with my black top. So, yep, I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, thank you for being wonderful, and I look forward to speaking to you below. And thanks for sharing a coffee with me. Bye for now.